Good evening, all, and welcome to Trackalicious. As you can see, I'm not Eric. Name's Will, as you've seen from previous weeks, and I will be your host for this evening's action. Looking to be a pretty exciting one. We've got Spa, always a fan favorite of everybody. Got Multiclass, some GT3s, some GT4s. As it looks right now, it seems we've got GT3s finishing up their qualifying runs here shortly, and then it'll be on to the GT4s. So looks like we've got some pretty clear weather for this evening. Shouldn't be any should not be any surprises like last week with the rain that was a little unexpected and made for some challenging conditions, but today it should be nice and dry, so they'll know what to expect from their grip levels. So let's get out there and see the action as we come to an overhead shot of Cody Wassam. Oh, looks like we're having a little bit of dun, 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 dun. Sorry, folks. Trying to get the time up for you. Having a little bit of trouble with it. First time that I'm doing this part of it, so we'll get there. But we will transition over the GT4s now, as I continue trying to pull up timing. We're looking at Jacob Cunningham, I believe, on his out lap. So, trying to get those tires warm. Now at Spa, you should be able to pretty much be going on your first lap out in GT4. The lap's long enough that you're going to get that tire heat going, so you don't really have to be concerned that that's not happening anymore. But it's also, because it's such a long lap, you do have fewer laps, so you really need to get on it and get going as quickly as possible. We look back through a couple more cars starting laps. That's some rather tight bunching for them to go out with. Now, GT4s are a little less affected by aero wash than GT3, but I don't know that I'd want to be that close right now. However, that's their choosing. We'll see how that goes for them. Trying to. Why has this? Sorry, folks. Really trying to get the standings up for you. I'm not sure why it's fighting with me, but. At least I'll look back, and in GT3, it looks like we had, who I believe is a newcomer to the series this week, Tyler Carr, with currently on pole in GT3 with a 2:15.6, followed relatively closely by Roland Sasbo with a 2:15.9. And then almost a full second back to Cody Wassam with a 2:16.8. Have Bronson and Turner as fourth with a 2:17 flat. And then looking back in fifth to Zachary Rust with a 2:17.2. So got some real fast guys, but then there's a lot of cars in the 17s, and then even in the low 18s takes you all the way back to 13th. So I expect a pretty good mid-pack fight there. But we shall see. It appears 17 cars qualified, and then there's another 5 or 6 GT3s. And now we've got the first times coming in for GT4. Mike Pico is the first across the line with a 229.6, followed by Jacob Maganowski with a 230.03, William Campbell with a 230.3, Jacob Cunningham with a 230.9, Justin Harper with a little bit movement there. Justin Harper with a 232.1. So far, relatively tight in GT4 on first laps, but we will see how they go as they continue through. Sweet. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there coming out of Lacombe for Anthony Camacho. Yet to set a time, but appears to be... Nope, that's not how that timing works. I thought that was showing a green sector. That is not. Come on. As we see Mike Pico appearing to catch a little bit of traffic there. Hopefully it won't affect his lap too badly. Right now he's probably just getting a draft, but with that break he might catch up and lose a little bit of time, but we'll see. As he goes through the final chicane, a little bit of a slide there, powers out towards the line, and does not improve. Let's see who else we can... Lots of McLarens in the GT4 field tonight. Yeah, sorry, I'm working on the driver list. I'm not sure what the deal is with why it's not pulling up. I had it working prior to starting the stream, and now not seeing it. Saying not found. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. That's better. Sorry, folks. Bear with me as I learn to use the tools I have. Let's see. What's that going to pull? There we go. Don't think we need that this moment, but Alrighty, as we see a little bit more movement coming in the standings at this point. Currently we have Mike Pico still on that 229.6, followed very closely by Jacob Maganowski with a 229.7. We then have Corey Fortner on a 230, but he pulls off. Let's see, who else do we potentially have on a lap? Nope, not still on a lap there. Jason Vondra still looks like he's on one. Currently sitting in 9th place, but looking to potentially improve. His last lap was a 232.6. Let's see if I can shift this a little bit. Also, how are my audio levels, guys? Is any... there any issues? We all good? Anything I should know? Yeah, sorry about the title too. It's like I said, learning in process here. As Jason Vondra appears to potentially be the last one on a lap. As he comes up to the checkered flag and improves to 7th position with a 232.4. Very nicely done. Looks like we also potentially have Kelly McQueen still out on a lap. Currently does not have a time. So definitely hoping that they stayed on track, haven't invalidated anywhere, and can get something on the board. As they power up the hill towards Blanchemont. GT4, it's probably not going to be flat out. In a GT3 car, it's flat, but oh, and that looks a little bit too wide. I'm not sure if that was invalidated or not. We'll see as they come to the line here. Still keeping on through the bus stop, so they must think there's a chance. Ooh, that also looked a bit too wide. Yeah, no time recorded, unfortunately, for Kelly McQueen. So with that, that is the end of qualifying. Yeah, I know it says the wrong thing. Sorry, guys. I have to figure out how to change that. Okay, so we're now into the results. As we take a look down the list, pole position in GT3 is Tyler Carr. Oh, did I already lose my... my times? Yeah. Okay. So we have Tyler Carr on pole, followed by Roland Sasbo, Cody Wasserman 3rd, Bronson Turner 4th, Zachary Rust 5th, Miguel Solera in 6th, Jack Shia in 7th, Alex Hansen in 8th, Josh Willis in 9th, Tyler Smith in 10th, Chris Lovett in 11th, Corey Young in 12th, Chris McNichol in 13th, Inato Van Esch in 14th, Barry Sessom in 15th, Morgan Stringer in 16th, Brian Barrow in 17th, 18th is Aaron Kuhn, 19th is Patrick Rich, 20th is Vegard Henriksen, 21st is Frederick Gruppel. Carlos Guzman is in 21st. Little switch there. And then last in GT3 is Alex Altazero. First in GT4 is Mike Pico, followed by William Campbell. Third is Jacob Magnowski. Fourth is Corey Fortner. Fifth is Jacob Cunningham. Jason Vondra is sixth. Justin Harper seventh. Jake Comiskey's eighth. Ninth is Joe Harkness. 10th is Brad Sievers. As we're getting ready to start, a lot of weaving from the drivers following that Mustang pace car this week. So we've got an early morning start, lights ablaze, looking to, obviously it'll get brighter as the morning goes on. And with that will come more warmth, so we potentially will have drivers needing to deal with the track warming up, maybe losing a little bit of grip. But here we go. We are utilizing this version of Spa. We will be starting where on the F1 straight as opposed to down the hill into Eau Rouge. So look out for that tight turn one. You know, La Source is a very tight corner and can really be tricky. As here we go as Tyler Carr gets an excellent start and pulls a big gap immediately over Roland, who's quickly followed by Cody Wassam. Bronson Turner following through. Looks like we've got a relatively smooth start so far. No issues in the background, it looks like. I think we're all through safely. So we look back to the GT4s. Oh, that appears to be Brad Sievers around in the background through the bus stop. Oh, that is not a great way to start your race. Hopefully no contact was made. Oh, but there was. Colin Smith with heavy damage on the front straight, as well as Anthony Camacho immediately returning to pits. Brad Sievers does appear to be going, but has some damage to the front end. I think there's been an incident with Cody Wassam as well, as he's dropping back. No, never mind. That's just timing being weird. Okay. However, Bronson Turner has gotten around Cody Wassam somewhere early in this lap. But the Mustangs of Tyler Carr and Roland Sasbo, both running the same livery, so looking like teammates, pulling out pretty quick gaps already. It looks like Tyler Carr by about 2 seconds, and then Roland has another second over Bronson Turner at this stage. As back in the background, Zachary Rust and Miguel looking like they're going at it. Josh Willis is up 2 places off the start. Vegard Henriksen is up 8. That is a very good start for him. I'm not sure if he maybe just didn't get a good qualifying or something happened. I'm not 100% sure. As we look back, that looks like a pretty heavily damaged Audi for Jack Shia, unfortunately. We go back to GT4. GT4 looks like Mike Pico has retained his pole position, and at least for the majority of the first lap. However, Jacob Magnowski is quite close still, using that draft to great effect coming up the hill from La Source all the way up to Blanchemont. Little dab of the brakes on entry. You know, that McLaren can be a little understeery, especially in the high speeds. As they come around to complete lap 1. Let's see. As we head back to the front of the field. Ooh, this looks We have Josh Willis looking to challenge Alex Hansen around the outside of Lacombe and gets the move done. Very, very nicely done through there. As Josh Willis is now up 4 places from the start. Where are our two? This is quite the group of cars all stacked up on the back of Miguel here. Looking like a little bit of a cork in the bottle early, but it's hard to tell when everybody's still kind of warming up tires. GT3 takes a little bit longer to warm them up. As Josh Willis in the background looked like he was maybe thinking about a move on Cody Wassam. Maybe thinking, but nothing doing yet. As they run through Stavolo. GT3, if you get the line right, that's probably flat, especially once the tires are properly warmed up. So we look through here. There's still... Go back and it looks like there's a couple cars on the back of Patrick Rich with Vegard Henriksen in close support, and then Chris McNichol following them, with then Frederick Gruppel also making up a couple places. I don't think he got a qualifying lap in, so he's gonna have some work to do as well to catch up some. So we go back into take a look at GT4. Ooh, as Jack Shy is now in the middle of that GT4 lead battle. I don't know if he's still having issues from that damage, or if he had another spin possibly. Jacob Cunningham has made up 2 places on the start. He qualified 5th, now up to 3rd. So strong start for him. I'm not sure how the Porsche will fare here. I think it's still more of a momentum car, but with that small front end, their top end can be okay. Now the Mustangs definitely have a lot of top end, but how well they make use of it, it can be a slightly tricky car to drive, especially on power. So we go forward to see Bronson Turner still hanging on in 3rd place here. Looking forward, looks like for the most part we've got Tyler Carr and Roland have both pretty well just consolidated their lead. I mean, looking at here at the iRating, Tyler Carr's a 5.3. I'd expect some pretty good pace out of him compared to most of the rest of the field, is mostly in the 2s and upper 1s for GT3. Let's go back through and let's see who else might still be. Zachary Rust has Josh Willis for company, who does appear to have gotten around Cody Wassam at some stage. Fortunately, we missed that, but Josh looking pretty racy right now with Zach Rust. Where's the button that I want? This is quite the pack that is developing behind Zachary Rust. There isn't a gap more than a second for, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7, maybe 8 cars, all pretty close together right now. So that's going to be pretty stressful for those drivers, because you want to look forward, you want to make progress. As Josh thinks about a move up the inside, but that is not happening on this time around. He is not able to make it there on the brakes. And that now has him going a little bit defensive, as Cody Wassam is right there, who looking to pounce on any little thing that he can get. And that's the tricky part when you've got a pack like this, is you want to make that move, you want to move forward, but if your move doesn't work out, you could lose out to the guy behind you. They're also looking for that, so if the mistake comes, they want it. So we go back through. Vegard Henriksen moved those 8 places pretty quickly, but now is kind of... That's about where he's gotten to right now, is 12th. It's possible he's got more in it, but we'll see for the time being. So we go back and see... What are we looking at in GT4? Oh! Jacob Magnowski's gotten around Mike Pico for first place in GT4. Let's see if we've got anybody else that's close in GT4 right now. William Campbell, looking at the back of Corey Fortner. Last time around, William Campbell was about a second and a half quicker than Corey Fortner's last tour, so I would expect that he will be looking to make a move soon. Not necessarily there yet, but that Mustang's a pretty big car. It punches a pretty big hole in the air, so that Mercedes should get a nice draft from it. They're headed up to Blanchemont now. And into one of the areas that, if you're close enough, this is an opportunity. It's a tricky one. With it being a right and then a left-hander, you know, it's tough to get far enough through in the beginning. Ooh! Corey Fortner goes a little wide on exit, and William Campbell's looking potentially to pounce. They're side by side going down to the La Source. And maybe William Campbell's trying the over-under. They're along... He's starting to get alongside now. Oh, headed down to a Rouge. Can he get the... Oh, he gets the move. Looks like Corey Fortner might have backed out before they got down there. That's a fearsome corner to try and go too wide through, and very, very risky. So we head back up to GT3. Bronson Turner still sitting third. And Josh Willis has gotten around Zachary Rust, as has Cody Wassam. And however, in that process, Josh has not been able to drop Cody. Cody is sticking right with him. So I would imagine that was not 100% pace that got Josh by Cody, and now, because he can't get away. So I would guess that there's a lot going on in those early laps. And now Josh is going to have that pressure from the Ferrari behind for the rest of his race. And that very easily, when you've got gaps like that, it can come down to the pit stop. You know, who gets on and off better, who gets their fuel right, do you try and risk the fuel save, all that fun stuff. As Cody was close, but didn't really look like he was going to make a move there. Just stuck under the rear wing of the M4 and drafted with him. Now it could be he's just wants to get away from those cars behind and give himself a bit of a gap before he tries to make an attack, and so he can do so without risk from behind. Let's see who's close. Patrick Rich is right on the back of Frederick Goupil, who's now up 12 places. That's some That's some strong progress here. 13 minutes into the race. You know, we're talking only 5.5 laps so far. That's definitely some strong improvement. There we've got a little bit of GT3, GT4 traffic. And wow, what a move there. Chris Lovett got kind of held up, trying to just be gentle, not be too aggressive with the GT4, and as a result loses multiple places coming up to Stavolo, and potentially is risking even more, as that momentum loss is really going to be hurting him in what's a flat-out section in GT3. But that's the nature of multiclass sometimes, you know? You can catch cars at bad times, and yeah, he started this lap 8th, and he's going to end it in 10th. That is a rough one for sure. Oh, as we've got a move. Oh, and there's contact as Vegard Henriksen looks to make the move on Chris Lovett and just gets it a little wrong. And oh, cars are scattering around him as thankfully nobody else piles in after that. Oh, that is unfortunate to drop another 8 places immediately after through no real fault of his own. You hate to see that. That's just unfortunate. Hop back to the GT4s, take a look. Got a nice little pack here. Joe Harkness leading Jason Vondra, leading Kelly McQueen. Brad Sievers a little farther back. Jacob Cunningham sitting about 4 seconds back from Mike Pico at this point, who's sitting still within a second of Jacob Magnowski. Jacob may have gotten by, but that has not allowed him to drop Mike in the slightest at this stage. So as the race goes on, you know, we'll see. Maybe one of them's better at managing tires than the other. You know, could be any number of factors that'll shake this up. But for now, Magnowski looks like he's doing pretty well to just maintain that half a second to a second gap. As that looks like Kelly McQueen has gotten very close to Jason Vondra now through the last 2 corners. But that straight looks, the straight between the bus stop and LeSource seems on paper like you'd really be able to do something with it, especially because it's such a slow corner at the end, but it can be tricky without a mistake from the car in front to really actually gain that time. As we head back to check out the front of the field. Ah, that was the leader that was coming through those cars as we were looking. Tyler Carr has now pulled out a 6-second lead over Roland Sasbo, as they are now dealing with GT4 traffic. So this is that phase of the race where now you're getting into the GT4s, you're having to navigate them, and as the saying goes, traffic giveth, traffic taketh away, as we see Roland unable to get the move done through Brussels, and then through No Name is still behind that McLaren. That's going to have cost him, that looks like it cost him almost 3 seconds. That seems like a lot, but could potentially be as much as that. So we shall see as we go back to Zachary Rust, who has Frederick Goupil right on his tail. Is actually making a move as he does not get a good corner exit from No Name, and Frederick gets through on him as well as getting through on that GT4, and is looking now towards Cody Wassam potentially. Oh, that is some strong progress. Did we lose? What has happened to Josh Willis? Oh, something must have. He's down to 18th place now. He was up in that fight for the top 5 and is now just completely gone. I'm not 100% sure what occurred there, but that's where he is. So let's see, what other... Alright. Zachary Rust still looking to try and stick with Frederick Goupel. Oh, there's a battle back behind between Aaron Kuhn, Vegard Henriksen, and as Henrik makes the move on Aaron Kuhn, very nicely done into La Source. That time he was able to get alongside and make it stick. But Aaron Kuhn doesn't look like he wants to give this up yet. He's almost looked like he was thinking about side by side, but then thought better of it into a fearsome corner like Eau Rouge and Radion. You do not want to be trying to do side by side there unless you're absolutely... Oh, that was a spun GT4. That looked like it was Brad Severs. Oh, that is a bad place to be spun. Is more contact. Oh, no. No. People are scattering. That was a good job by Brad to just stay still. Don't make the accident worse by trying to move the car and have somebody crash into you while trying to avoid. But that is an unpleasant place to be spun for sure. Let's see if we can potentially go backwards and see what happened. Oh, that looked like maybe there was some contact with GT3s, possibly? There's a couple around the area. Oh, no! Oh, that is unfortunate. Zachary Rust with the off-track and then unsafe rejoin right into the side of Brad as cars go flying by. That's an uncomfy place to be in. Oh, there was some contact. One of the Mercedes GT4s made contact. See, Flick turns it around now, just trying to get it back. Get it back to the pits. So we go back to the battle up ahead as Vegard now is on the back of Patrick Rich. Potentially some GT4 interactions is... Oh! Aaron Kuhn looking at the outside. Really... Oh! And there's contact and they both spin out of the final corner. Oh, that is not how you want to see that end. Oh, that was good battling to that point. As now Patrick Rich has the pressure taken off from behind. Yeah, that's a rough lap going on there. Now, it seems that Frederick Goupel looks a lot closer than I remember, but their last laps were only about a 10th apart. So I wouldn't necessarily expect that to be an easy pass, but he has been making good progress towards Cody. And Cody, ooh, little wide there through No Name on the exit. Gets out into the gravel a little bit. Didn't affect him too badly, but certainly will not have helped matters. Let's see, go back here, see. Chris is kind of close. Carlos Guzman has Tyler Smith for company. And then Josh Willis not far behind them, up 3 places since we last looked in. And he is significantly quicker than most of the cars around him. His last lap was a 2:17.8, and the majority of the cars around him were in the mid to high 2:18s or even low 2:19s. So I'd expect him to be making a pretty decent charge at this stage in the race. You know, whatever contact happened that put it down there doesn't look like his car got very badly damaged. So he probably is going to have the pace to be able to make some progress back up the field here at this stage. As he heads down into the bus stop, closing pretty quickly on Tyler Smith there. Car looks strong on the brakes. Gonna look ahead real quick. As Cody's got some major company in the form of that Porsche behind him, but no move this lap. We'll jump back to Josh and see what he potentially can do down this back straight. And we'll potentially try and go back and look at some GT4 action. I think they've been pretty spread out for the most part, but take a look nonetheless. Oh, that is a spun car. I think that was Corey Fortner, possibly? Yeah, that's Corey Fortner off to the side. Doing a good job, waiting for a clear gap, not jumping out in front of anybody. And now he rolls in with that gap. Well done. Well done. As Jack Shia clears him. Go forward. Oh, that's damage on the nose of Cody Wassam. I have had bad timing with jumping off of people today, as Brad Severs appears to be around in the gravel again. Wonder what happened to Cody Wassam. Can we see? Run back quick, see if we can find this. Alright, so we've got... he's... oh, no, he does have it there. Alright. Ooh, that was close. Traffic definitely took away from him and helped Frederick Gruppel there, but then he wasn't quite able to take advantage. Alright. Looks like we might have some pitters now. With 26 minutes into the race, it's possible now, I believe, to make it to the end. Spa's definitely a track that is more fuel intensive, so you do not have as much ability to run long. As it appears, Frederick Gruppel also pitting now, so maybe thinking about an undercut. There's a good number of cars that actually have chosen this point in time to take to the pits, so we'll see. Now, Frederick's come out into a bit of GT4 traffic. That's not going to help his bid on the undercut. But if he can get by quickly, maybe he can take advantage of the damage slowing Cody down a bit. Now, we do have a fast repair in this series, so if you do get damaged, you have one of these incidents, whatever, it is possible to take that and come back. Try and get yourself back into it, back into the fight, if you don't lose too much time from it. Look through here. Let's see. Who do we... So Jacob Magnowski still leads the way in GT4, although he's now pulled out about 5 seconds on Mike Pico, who's being flashed by one of the GT3s. That would be Alex Alteriso. Flashing the GT4 as he goes through, letting him know that he's there, so he doesn't pull across or something. Jump back, look at Jacob Cunningham being overtaken by Chris McNichol. William Campbell a little farther back. Alright, let's see here. Oop. There was the sound of spinning tires in the background, but not sure who that was. Jack Shy again. That Audi must be fighting a little bit today. As we hop on back with Josh Willis as he charges up the Kemmel Straight. So we're alongside. Whoops, that was a bad time to try that. As he pulls alongside Carlos Guzman and now clears him into Lacombe. Nicely done. Nice job following closely through Eau Rouge and then getting the run up the Kemmel Straight. As he's going to want to continue his charge forward and try and make progress on those in front of him. Now we head up towards the front of the field. Bronson Turner holding down third place in that Aston Martin. Roland Sasbo still with about a 13-second gap and about a 12-second gap in front as Tyler Carr has just cleared off at the front of this field. If we look at best laps, he said his fastest lap was his last lap, and he did a 2:15.6. The next closest is Roland with a 2:16.4, and then everybody else is in the 17s. So that is some very strong pace. That is some nice driving from them. As we look back, Cody clearly has not pit yet. None of the top 5 have. I don't believe any. Possibly the top 6. Let's see if I can pop this up. I think there's a way I can show. I think there's a way I can show. Well, I thought there was. We're learning. We'll figure it out. What has that done? Not quite what I thought. Okay. Anyways, we're on board looking at Cody Wassam. As we're just over halfway into the race. So definitely those that haven't pit yet are probably thinking about it soon those two with their liveries that look exactly the same do mess with me a little bit. For Bronson Turner and why am I blanking? Morgan Stringer. Yep, there we go. They run the same livery and it can be confusing at times. But with those lead cars that have not pit yet, they're going to be looking towards it soon. Probably within the next lap or two, I would say. They're not going to be able to go too much farther than that. Look at the size of that Mustang behind the McLaren GT4 there. It looks like a mountain behind it as he gets held up a little bit, but has the power to clear it easily down into Lacombe as he weaves a little bit down there. Go back through. Let's see who is close. With the top 4 still yet to pit. top 5 still yet to pit. We'll see if the overcut or the undercut was more advantageous. Hi, Alex. Yeah, that's unfortunate. What happened to you? Beyond the lack of practice, obviously. So we follow Tyler Carr through the end of the lap here. As into the pits comes Tyler Carr. Finally, 34 minutes in. Let's see, does Roland Sasbo follow him? He does. We'll go back to Bronson Turner, see if he's also in there. Is he? Ooh, little held up there by the McLaren through Blanchemont. Not the McLaren's fault. He's doing his job of just existing, but yep, as in comes Bronson, in comes Miguel. Do we have Cody Wasserman? No, Cody's staying out. Okay. So with that, Cody will take over the lead of the race here. Or, ooh, maybe not. As there comes Tyler out of the pits before Cody gets there. Now, he'll have the run, but I'm not sure he's going to want to use it necessarily. Yeah, no, okay. So, does not end up holding it as Tyler Carr is able to get into the pits and get out without losing the lead. Cody may be thinking about it a little bit, but not going for it. I think he knows this isn't his fight right now. Tyler's just gone. But where is... No. As they both overtake that GT4. Oop, that's a McLaren stopped in the runoff. That was a little close. I imagine Tyler got a little concerned there as he runs a little wide, and that McLaren behind spinning. I'm not sure. Oh, that was Joe Harkness having a little bit of a spin there in the background. So we go to GT4, take a quick look back. Jacob Magnowski's now out to a pretty strong lead of over 6 seconds over Mike Pico. Jacob Cunningham in third. Kelly McQueen in fourth, a long way back at this stage. Lots of McLarens all in the middle here. As through go first and second, there's your lead battle between Tyler Carr and Cody Wassam. Now, Cody still owes us a pit, so we'll see where he comes out. Yep, as into the pits comes Cody. Now, we were watching him battle with Frederick Goupel, who's currently coming through Stavelo. So we will see. Let's see where they come out in relative to each other, because this was a close fight. Their strategies diverged on when they wanted to pit. I think they were basically on opposite ends of the pit window. Frederick came in about as early as you could. Cody had to have been on fumes. So he's coming through the final corner. And Cody Wassam's already exited the pits. That's huge. That is a sizable... That is a sizable gap at this stage. That's almost... Well, timing says that's 14 seconds. That seems high, but... Wow, that... I did not expect that from that battle. I'm gonna go back and take a look and see where we might have some people coming through. Josh Willis is still working his way back up the order. He's now gotten by Chris McNichol. Looking next towards Vegard Henriksen, and then Zachary Rust, who's not too much farther up the road. And then potentially Alex Alteriso. I apologize for anybody whose names I'm butchering. I'm trying here. As we look at the BMW contingent. Who is that is just sitting there? Ianto Van Esch. Wonder if he's having some kind of hardware issue or something, because that car's been there for a lap or two now. Oh, and with that said, it's gone. Alright. Moving on. We look back to some of the GT4s. Oh. Come on. There we go. No. Seem to be having some issues getting back to actual cars. Oh, I know why. Here we go. As we're looking at Brad Severs catching up to Michael Campbell. Now, it looks like there were a fair number of GT4s pit last lap. There's a couple of really long laps in here, especially Michael Campbell. So, I suspect the GT4s can go a little longer on fuel than the GT3s can. With the limitations we have set here, we limit fuel a bit so that people have to pit. We don't want them just running the whole time. It's more exciting when they have to actually think a bit. So we're going to go back up here, take a look at this battle that was beginning to brew. Is last lap, Josh was about roughly half a second faster on his last lap than Vegard was. As we're getting closer, Josh is going to be starting to weigh up. Where is he faster than Vegard? You know, where is it? Braking zones? Is it turn 5? You know, figure out where his strengths are in comparison and how do you utilize those to get by the car in front. You know, especially when we're looking here at a pair of M4s, it's even trickier to get by a car that is the same class as you. Or, not the same class, the same make as you. There are fewer advantages to take advantage of in comparison. So, we will see here as that goes. But for the moment, we'll take a look around. That looked like that was going to be a battle. Now I'm looking back, and we've currently got Jacob Cunningham now in the lead of GT4. I believe, yep, that's why. He has not pit yet. Magnowski has. Pico is showing as a 0, but if he hadn't, I would expect he would be ahead of both Jacob and both Jacobs. So I suspect that's just a timing glitch. So we'll see, does he come in this time? Because this would be pretty far into the race at this stage for him not to pit. And yep, there it is. Oh, as another GT3 pops in behind him. Let's hop back to Josh Willis and see, nope, no progress yet. Last lap they were still pretty even. Yeah, 2:18.5 to 2:18.6. Oh, Cody Wassum's had an issue somewhere. He has now dropped back behind Frederick Goupil, and he had a pretty solid advantage over him. As up ahead, we're also looking towards... Miguel Solera has jumped himself up into the podium places. This was not the case prior to the pit cycle, but now that we're through it, he has gained the place over Bronson Turner. So well done, Miguel. That is solid work. As we look back to Frederick Goupil, who's now up 16 places on the race. That is some very strong paces. Oh no! Alex Alterizo has had an issue. What happened here? Oh, was loose even in before he got to the curb, and the curb did not help as that goes around. Oh, that is an unfortunate way to go, but it is a not infrequent thing to happen, especially in that spot like that. So we go back ahead to the lead to another battle that's been raging, although the gap's extended out a bit, but Vegard is held up behind the M4 GT4 and does not make a good call there. Oh, and Josh pounces. Very nicely done. Vegard just got a little stuck behind that GT4, didn't know where to go, kind of froze up for a second, and Josh is through. Very heads-up driving by Josh to make that pass stick. Looked like a little bit of grass there, but nothing too crazy. No Kevin Magnussen in a GTP car, that's for sure. As next, he's going to be looking to target Zach Rust to get another place. As the minutes tick down, we're now under a quarter of the race left to run. See who else is... Whoops. Don't want that. Go away. Look back. So Jacob Cunningham now sitting in third, but looking like he's potentially coming back towards Mike Pico, especially through the pit cycle. Now, he made it a really long time, so maybe if he was doing some fuel save, he could have saved some time on the stop, and that's part of it. I'm not sure at this point, but this is the battle for second in class. And you know, I was laughing about how big the Mustang looked behind the McLaren. Well, look at how tiny that Cayman looks, even compared to just the other GT4. That's quite the size comparison. So we'll just check in with our leader up here. Now, that gap is up to 15 seconds now. I mean, that's extremely strong pace. That's a very solid drive. Roland in second here has Morgan Stringer, I believe, a lap down for company. And then Miguel significant, another 20 seconds back. Wow, just Crazy pace from those two. Very, very nicely done. Look back and see. So yeah, now that Josh has gotten through on Vagard, he's opened up a decent gap to him. Chris McNichol in the top 10. All right. In spite of his issues, Jack Shia pulling it back to 13th at this stage. Let's go back to the GT4, see. Their last laps were not great comparisons, so we'll see this lap. Mike Pico does a 230.7 to Jacob Cunningham's 230.8. So he gaps him a little bit there. See if anybody else is close. Looking pretty strung out at this stage over most of the field. Flash of the headlights from Chris McNichol as he goes by that GT4. Not sure. Goes by the GT4 of Jake Kaminsky's, who's currently sitting 5th in GT4, up 8 places from the start. That's good going. Strong result in the class so far. As we just tick over 10 minutes left in this race, is there any sting in the tail left? Does anybody have anything for those that they're trying to chase down? Now, we've seen it before in this league, Monza especially, which was another high fuel track. There were some issues with fuel calculations, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. See if that... What's happening here? Okay. See if anybody runs afoul of that again. Hopefully not. You know, it's not something we enjoy seeing, but it does happen. Although it does make for exciting finishes, so we'll see about that. As this past lap around, Josh ran a 2:18.1 to Zachary Russ 2:19.09, so he's looking maybe to get some progress. Oh, we missed. No, never mind. That happened earlier. Ooh, a little bit of side-by-side there. The GT4 kind of turning in on the GT3. He was solidly alongside into that braking zone, so kind of watch that one a little bit. But no harm, no foul. Is that accurate? No. As Bronson Turner, looking like he's maybe thinking about trying to do something about Miguel. He was 2 seconds faster this past lap. Maybe there was a bit of an error in there. We'll have to keep an eye, see if Bronson Turner can make a fight of this in the last couple laps. With the lap times they're doing, I suspect he's only got 3, maybe 4 to do it, but nothing's 3 to 4 at Spa is potentially plenty enough time, so we will see. Ooh, we've got a battle here between two of Mercedes. We've got Corey Young and Aaron Kuhn battling it out through the final corner. Now on the brakes into turn 1. little bit of diverging lines, but they come together on exit pretty much the same distance apart, nose to about a car length between them as they head down to Eau Rouge. Now, Eau Rouge and Radion are a tricky place if you were the following car. It is tough to stay that close and spot your marks and not drift wide or miss a trick here, but Corey Young going a little bit defensive there. Kind of surprised Aaron didn't drop in the draft, but hey, maybe you just want to not worry about it and stay online. Now, is this playing games with me, or is this... Yeah. Okay, that did not change. I think Josh's charge may have run out of steam. He was a little bit faster this past lap, but this gap doesn't look like it's closing quite enough at the speed it needs to for him to get this one done. Bronson Turner's still looking like he's getting closer. Ooh, but not like that. Very nicely held, but that's a lot of time lost on a big slide through the exit of No Name. You can tell he was pushing hard and just lit the rear tires up a little bit, and there she went, unfortunately. Looking back at the GT4s, Mike Pico seems to have seen off the little bit of challenge that was there from the current GT4 championship leader, Jacob Cunningham. Corey Fortner looking somewhat close to Jason Vondra. Was about 2 seconds faster this last lap, so he might be catching up. He did have that spin earlier, so it's very possible he has the pace to make this work. Gosh, that Mustang does sound good. As we'll have to keep an eye out now. We're getting close to white flag lap at this stage. Take a look at Tyler Carr as he's now going to be working his way through both GT4 and GT3 traffic. So maybe we take a little ride on board while we're doing that. If I can get there. Looking ahead, we see Corey Young and Aaron Kuhn still battling it out as they go around to GT4. Now this is going to be very close. Tyler Carr has crossed the line with probably 12-ish seconds to the good on having another lap after this. He does have the gap should he really want to back off, but with how dominant he's been at this stage, I would think he wants to stick with it. We ride on board here. the cars ahead will likely be seeing blue flags at this stage. We do not do F1 style blue flags though, as they're advisory. Now you can't actively fight the car behind, but you don't have to just dive out of the way. So what is he going to do with this at this point? Does he want to get by, or is he content with what is a very large lead at this stage? Oh, that's a big twitch for Aaron Kuhn, and that solves half the problem for him at least. Oh, that looked not fun, unfortunately. We'll take a look around. Oh, and of course I managed to miss it, as Josh Willis has gotten the move done on Zachary Rust here at some stage. Looking back at the field, looks like Jacob Magnowski's got about a 16-second lead on Mike Pico, who's pulled out 3-ish seconds on Jacob Cunningham, so who has 15 back to William Campbell. So that's pretty well set in GT4 at this stage for who your podium is, unless there's a big mistake. As we look back to Tyler Carr crossing the line for the white flag lap, beginning his final tour of this fantastic circuit that is Spa-Francorchamps. As he climbs the hill up through a Rouge, Radeon now, and then powers down the Kemmel Straight one last time. Look back and see. Is anybody else? Oh, this may not be over, as there is GT3 traffic ahead, and Bronson Turner is right with Miguel Solera now. Bronson Turner's definitely going to be thinking about a move somewhere here. This is the lap. If he's going to do it, it's now for the final podium spot of this race. And from a championship perspective, this would be important. Ooh, big moment there. Is that going to give Bronson Turner the run? Oh, holding him close. They're side by side into Lacombe, and that's it. Move is done. He is through on the final lap. Bronson Turner makes the move on Miguel Solera for the final podium place. But Miguel looks like he's going to fight back. He's looking to the inside, but nope, nothing doing. Doesn't have the brakes to pull it off. Although there is some GT4 traffic, but we're going to go back and watch as Tyler Carr navigates one final time. Is the GT4 going to wait? Yeah, he doesn't want to go again. Across the line for Tyler Carr with a dominant victory. Very nice driving, very nicely done. Roland Sasbo coming home in second. Bronson Turner currently third place with Miguel Solera in close attendance. Oh, a little wide, kicks up some dust in the gravel there. He's still pushing hard. He does not want to give that up yet. And you can't blame him if any little mistake from Bronson Turner, and that might give him the chance. As he's deep on the brakes, and nope, that's not happening. Had to go for it. Nothing else. You just have to. You have to take that look. So we go back to Jacob Magnowski. your current GT4 leader. Josh Willis still has Zachary Russ close behind. Is he going to think about a move? Nope. Josh is a little defensive, but Zach doesn't have the grip to do it. Although they are close over the line. Woo! That was probably a little closer than Josh would have liked. And now we go back to see Jacob Magnowski crossing the line in GT4 for the race victory. Very nicely done. Strong performance in GT4 from Jacob Magnowski. Michael Pico in second. And Jacob Cunningham crossing the line in third. Well, that was certainly good race. Some very strong racing all around. We've got some burnouts into each other, nose to nose. Maybe a little bit of animosity happened there over the race. I'm not exactly sure how where they ended up happened, but we'll find out. So for those that wish to be interviewed, we will grab them momentarily as I figure out how to do that. And we're back to the studio and my unfortunate face. And let's see. Discord. And we move to... Okay. Yep. And... Yep. And...
Oh, whoa.
Welcome. Almost have everybody here. And... there are all of our podium finishers. Congratulations to all of you. Very nicely done. We'll start with GT3. Tyler, that was quite the dominant victory for you there.
Thank you.
Any real concerns, anything, or was that just a straightforward just go?
No, that was just straightforward go. I've been doing IMSA all week, and split one's pretty sweaty, so I thought I'd get a break from that and race with a couple of the guys from the team. So that's why I joined here tonight.
Nice.
And, so I've had plenty of practice here.
Yeah, it showed. It showed for sure. Roland, similarly strong pace. Didn't look like you had too much of a challenge at any point. Any concerns for you? Anything good, bad, indifferent? How was the GT4 traffic?
My only concern for this race was Tyler. I tried to stay with him, but unfortunately I couldn't. He's just too fast, unfortunately. The GT4s were a challenge here and there, especially through the mid sectors of Spa. It's really, really hard sending it through there. So I just had to kind of wait my way around. So yeah, those were my only two challenges, I'd say.
Well, there you go. Nicely done, the both of you. Now, Bronson Turner, you had a little bit more of an exciting race. Tell me about the... do you know what happened with the strategy? And then especially about that battle there at the end. That last lap was very exciting, to say the least.
Oh, yeah. No, super fun battles with Miguel there. Yeah, we actually battled earlier on. And as far as the strategy goes, honestly, I don't know. Usually my strategies are on point. It just seemed like the Aston was needing a lot more fuel. And maybe Miguel was saving, but he undercut me by like, I think, a second and a half just sitting in the pit box. So, yeah, not exactly sure what happened there, but made for some fun battles and some good on-track racing for sure.
So did you think that podium was on, or were you concerned when when the laps were ticking down?
Yeah, I mean, so we had battled early, I don't know, maybe like lap 15 or so, earlier in the race, like right after pits. Him and I were battling for about 3 or 4 laps, and we actually made contact. So I kind of lost the car. I think it was just a net code or something. We were racing pretty tight side by side. So lost the car and actually took a little bit of a hit from Cody. So apologies to him because he got caught up in that whole shebang. But yeah,
That explains that one.
Thought it was. Yeah, I honestly thought it was off. That the podium was off. I think I got pretty lucky with the lap traffic, slowing Miguel down a little bit, and then kind of made up the difference. And on the flip side, earlier in the race, I had some lap traffic that slowed me down by like 4 or 5 seconds, 2 laps in a row. So I was struggling there. I had pretty good pace early on, and it kind of just lost it as the tires wore. But no, it was good fun racing. We had a full crew on my end with the SR Motorsports team, so that was fun.
Nice. Yeah, we definitely saw that with a few different cars really struggling with that. Now on to the GT4s. Jacob Magnowski, congratulations on your win. How was your race?
Thank you. It was good. It was just pretty cruise sailing. Me and my dad got away at the start, and then it was just easy from there, just taking down the laps.
Nice. Looked solid, looked like good pace, saw 1 or 2 possible moments, but nothing too major. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, how was your race? It looked like you were sticking with him there to begin with, and then unfortunately it looked like you dropped away some.
Oh yeah, I ran out of talent and got a bunch of slowdowns in Radeon, and I think I had 3 throughout the race.
Yeah.
It's just no matter what, I just don't know how to beat people named Jacob, apparently, whether it's Cunningham or Magnowski. But 1-2 finish for a father and son's pretty badass. So as soon as we're out of here, we're going to be screaming and yelling.
Very nice. And yeah, well, you did get Jacob Cunningham today, our 3rd place finisher in GT4. How was your race? It looked like you had to do a little bit of overtaking to get there.
Yeah, just, try and keep it clean on the start. Always know someone's going to mess that up a little bit. And I was able to slide into 3rd, and just, I don't know if it was the car or my driving, just didn't have it today for Mike and Jacob up front. Really good race by them.
Yeah, looked a little tricky. Looked like you got kind of close after the pit stops, but then it just didn't quite materialize.
Oh, dude, he came out in front of me from the pits. I freaked out.
Oh, I didn't see that. I just saw you guys close together.
I exited the pits in front of him, but, he had the faster run out of the source, so he was able to drag by me into a Rouge, and it was just trying to hold on to him from there. But though he was just so quick today, I couldn't keep on him.
Yeah, that's never fun when the person you're battling suddenly's surprised they're in front of you when they were behind before the pits. But overall, good stuff, guys. Congratulations to all of you on your podiums, and yeah, have a good evening, all.
Thank you.
For those of you enjoying the stream, we have Zolder next week, and then the season will finish out with VIR. Yes. So 2 more races to go. Championship is looking very tight in both classes the last I looked. I will have that update for you next time, and have a good night, all.